Welcome to Let's Talk. Let's Talk is a call-in show on the Skeptic Haven channel. Let's Talk is a safe place for atheists, those questioning or leaving a religion, and anyone that wants to ask questions and have respectful discussions. From the U.S., you can call us at 984-400-5656, and from outside the U.S., you can call in from your computer using the little URL you see at the bottom of the screen there. Ain't technology fantastic?
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.
Oh, here we are. We're back on the screen here. Justin, what's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going? I haven't spoken to you
actually,
since Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say I'm in the midst of building the X-Men mansion, the Lego one. So
I was actually going to steer the conversation straight to Lego myself a little bit there too. Yeah, I haven't settled on what my next Lego will be, but I did see that a Luigi Mario Kart is coming out.
yeah. I think there's already Mario.
I got the Mario. See,
Oh yeah, nice.
yeah, that's probably my favorite one so far. But
Yeah, you're all about the video game ones, right? And of course the Transformers.
yeah, I like my nostalgia. I'm a nostalgia junkie.
Hence
So,
the
yeah,
X-Men for me.
even that Game Boy you see fuzzy over here, that's a Lego Game Boy. It's not
Yeah.
a Game Boy.
It looks pretty
Yeah,
cool
it's a
though.
good
They
time.
actually did a good job with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So how's the new year treating you so far?
It's been all right. I took some time off, obviously, from doing the show a little bit there. I kind of was been a little stressed out with some stuff, so I basically just wanted a little time. I've been doing my own show for the most part, but other than that, I've just taken some time to unwind and man, it's just the shit that's going on, kind of overwhelming, right? So it's
Crazy, right?
it's,
I mean-
it's never in my lifetime did I think I would see the things that are going on, right? So
Yeah, I mean, if for everyone who's in the audience, by the way, thanks for showing up. If you haven't hit that like button yet, do so now. But
it's
you know,
just right over
both-
there somewhere.
yeah, Neil and I are both Canadians. So you might think to yourselves, like, it doesn't injure us, all these terrible things that are happening in Minneapolis. But if there was one city or even state like Minnesota that we could probably relate to the most, it would be Minnesota. And I can tell you this much too. The other day I heard something about 50,000 Minnesotans came out in protest
Mhm.
in minus 20 C weather.
Yeah,
Put that in context for any Americans listening, or if you live in a warmer state, that would be like going outside in like 120 Fahrenheit weather and protesting with 50,000 other people. Like, to bear that weather en masse, it just speaks extra volumes to me, how terrible stuff going on over there is.
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. It's escalated to a point now where they're calling the people that are being innocent people that are being shot by these monsters, they're calling them the terrorists when it's actually the other way around in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about this today. Whenever we have a guest over, or a friend or a family member visit our homes, and it's wintertime, like such as myself right now, right in southern Ontario, we're getting completely obliterated, dumped on snow-wise. We'll very commonly just be like, drive safe. When you get home, call me, right? Because of snow and sleet and stuff. But in Minnesota right now, it means something totally different when you're telling someone to watch out for ice.
Yeah,
Like, it's,
yeah, absolutely.
and, for, unfortunately for someone named Alex, he's not going to be calling when he gets there. And that's
Yeah,
not
no.
cool. It's completely avoidable. right? It's not an accident. It's not slipping on the road. All anybody
No, he
had to
was
do was
shoved down.
just calm down. Like, absolutely terrible.
You know,
And you know what?
it's that the Alex
just
one
got-
kind of
Yeah, go ahead.
saying that he was armed, and it's like they took the gun from his holster. You can see it, and they even circled. They put a little red circle around Buddy that grabs his arm or grabs his gun from the holster and walks away with it, and then the other guy just pulls out his weapon and blows a bunch of holes in his back. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people, man?
Yeah, to me, nothing speaks greater to not being properly trained for the job. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen interactions with police who pull over Americans who have guns on them. And sure, the police have to like take an extra step of security when you're like, okay, you got a gun on you, no problem. You know, they do the whole just put your hands on the steering wheel, tell me where the gun is, and don't reach for it. And like, you know, they carry on.
Yeah, which is how you should do it.
Right. That's a trained person, right? These ICE people just jumped on the guy, started beating on him. Probably like one ICE official says, he's got a gun. So someone else pulls out a gun and shoots him. Like, they're not communicating properly. They're not trained. They're not well suited for this job. They're just anybody. I feel like anybody could just sign up and be ICE, and you'll be on the road in 3 weeks, just arresting random people for no big deal.
Well, maybe, Michael. I don't know. I don't recall hearing that at all. But I guess it's just possible. But I've seen a video of a couple of these ICE morons slipping on the ice, and one guy falls down, and his gun goes off and shoots the other one in the foot or leg or something like that. And it's like, shouldn't that be on safety until you need it? Like, these guys don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've even seen
ridiculous.
Like, I'm pretty sure like local law enforcement, one of the things that they're taught, for example, when it comes to de-escalation, is that sometimes just letting them get away is the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I've seen high-speed chases where they're just like, stop chasing them because this is just going to get somebody killed. Dangerous. We'll get them later, right? Like, and that's kind of an attitude, I think, kind of the right attitude for certain circumstances. And in this circumstance, it was definitely, I should have just been like, just let them fucking go. Like, we don't need this shit.
I've heard this sentiment before as well, that he's just trying to stir up shit so that people start, shooting back at them or whatever. And I've heard that there have been a couple of cases of that. One thing I'll mention in a moment. But yeah, I agree. The Insurrection Act, I think he's really trying hard to get that going so he can just go all out balls to the wall with the U.S. citizens. But I have seen a couple of videos now, 2 different locations. I can't exactly remember where one. I think one was in Detroit, or not Detroit, Chicago somewhere. And the other one may have been New York. But anyway, there are police officers pushing ICE away from people, like saying, you get the fuck out of here, that kind of thing. You guys aren't trained properly, yada, yada. And forcing them to go away. And of course, the ICE guys are losing their shit. Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's great that they're doing that they're fighting back against this bullshit, because it is bullshit.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't want to see anybody get hurt this way, not by their own government, right? And not by the government that they elected, apparently. Like, it's just it's terrible. It's so terrible that it's even hard to just continue to comment on.
When MTG video, the one with Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying that she's like she's now sort of on the other side of the fence, and she's like, I don't want to see this stuff anymore. This is absolutely crazy what's going on. And I'm so sorry that I was part of these maniacs, or yada yada, or whatever what she said. But she's like, yeah, we got to stop. I want people to stop this.
It's interesting how people's opinions can flip so easily when elections are coming up, huh?
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to disagree with her. This stuff has to stop, because
absolutely,
what people don't seem to realize is this has become something that isn't right left anymore. Now it's the up and down. It's the fucking billionaires that are in control of all this shit, and they're drumming up all this dissent between everybody because it keeps everyone distracted from what's really going on, of them collecting more and more of your fucking money. However, I will say I do like what Carney's up to. I think he's like severing ties completely with the U.S., buddy.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty proud of the man right now. So, again, Team Canada right here, right? We got Neil and myself, both Canadians. But if anybody did not know the name Mark Carney on Tuesday, they know it now.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I don't know. I think we do have a call.
Oh, yeah? Well, we should answer that shit.
We should. Just wait and see if they say it's okay to go. Oh, we do. We do.
Is it our friend Robin?
I think so. Hang on. Let me just press that talk button because the show is called Let's Talk. All right. I think, I think we've got Robin here. Robin, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are y'all doing?
Better now that you're here.
It's nice to hear from you. So what's your take on all this? Or why, well, first of all, why did you phone in here? Like, what do you got to say about all this?
Well, I was watching y'all talk about it, and I'm so upset over it. And I'm so tired of these Second Amendment people, and they're not even supporting him. It just blows my mind. They're just so full of crap. Because I actually am, opponent of Second Amendment. So, so it's like, I thought all these people were on board with that,
Well, it's not even so much the Second Amendment, but now apparently the First Amendment's no good. People can't express themselves.
Yeah.
They can't protest peacefully.
Yeah.
Right? Now they're fucking terrorists because
Well, they've never liked the first one. Like, they
were all harping on it though.
I've always told them
their hatred. They were harping on that.
The first one was more important. That's why it was first, actually.
Exactly, which is why the founding fathers put that one first, because they firmly believed in having that ability for the people.
Yeah, it's hard watching them, just backpedal on, which I'm used to it though. I see that party do a lot of backpedaling on what they say anyway. But watching them not having the NRA, I'm like, that's what I thought their whole goal was, to protect us from tyranny. Where are they at?
And now they're the tyranny.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, their goal is to protect them from other tyranny.
Yeah, they're just sitting there with their fingers at their butts, not saying a word. What blows my mind is Kyle, they were like, oh, they shouldn't have been at the protest. Okay, does anybody remember Kyle? Didn't he go to the protest with a gun?
Yeah, not a handgun either. A fucking full-on armed rifle, or a rifle strapped.
Yeah, he's running around with this great big old, at a protest. So they're just such hypocrites.
Yeah.
There is a lot of 2A people though that are pissed. I will say that is true. I just read Bree's comment. There is a lot. There's not enough of them though, but there is a lot. I mean, there is some of them that realize that the NRA though needs to come out and say something too.
Yeah, I also think that your Democrats have to step up more. They have to step up more and stop this bullshit. It doesn't seem like they want to do that. It's like they're sitting around with their thumbs up their asses too on this whole, oh my God, this happened. Oh my God. But, I can't really do anything about it. It's like, well, do something.
Yeah.
Put into it. Impeach that fucker. Get him and his whole fucking shit show out of the office.
I don't know if y'all heard about this case, the Kent State, Kentucky State shootings a couple of months ago, or a month ago. And Fox, it was a man, but they arrested him. He was 48 at the college or whatever. But they were showing him on the news over and over and saying that he'd shot these two students. Well, it actually ended up being a father of a student there that had been getting harassed really bad, and like they got attacked by a big group of people when he got there to move his son out of college, and he ended up shooting. He killed one of them and he shot the other one. He was carrying a legal firearm, and they tried to indict him, and the grand jury here up there wouldn't indict him because they ruled that it was self-defense, or like his Second Amendment. But he was black, you know what I mean? Like, and but I noticed that Fox never straightened that out. Like they never did straighten out that. But he was his Second Amendment, and I remember I was like, "Here, y'all, this is gun rights. This is this is the defend. You can defend yourself, self-defense laws that we have." That y'all have been pushing and that we have to have, and they worked out in his benefit, and nobody seemed to even care that it was, that he got, and he was, he was doing by the law, like he did it, he was protected by the law, and it worked out good. So.
Yeah. Well, as for the Second Amendment, I don't have an issue with people owning guns if they want to own guns. I personally don't want one, so I don't care. But they have to be, you got to.
It shouldn't be as easy as getting a large Coke and a fry.
Yeah, you got to go through some training on how to use the damn thing, how to store it, how to keep it clean, how to whatever. You got to, and then get a license, and it should go. It shouldn't be as easy it's like you can walk into a 7-Eleven and buy a firearm, for fuck's sakes, it seems.
And you also shouldn't need a weapon that can mow down an entire pasture of bison in a single clip. That doesn't seem really necessary either.
Yeah,
no, not really. I think that I'm a better shot than that, actually, so I don't really need all that. But yeah, I don't have to have any kind of license, so I don't even have to have like anything to carry, permit to carry, or anything here in Kentucky. So.
You guys have a concealed carry law there? Like, are you allowed to have concealed carry?
Yeah. We don't have to have it. We don't have to have a permit for that either.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like if I get pulled over by the police and I have to like alert them.
You have one. Yeah.
That I have a firearm on me, and like. Usually they'll want you to tell them where it is or something like that, and they'll get it out, get it away from in a traffic stop or something like that.
I couldn't imagine a day-to-day life. I couldn't imagine a day-to-day life where before I go to leave the house, I check for keys and wallet and gun. I just couldn't. I don't know how people would live like that.
I have an aunt that packs like this great big old. She has like a 9mm, I think, or something like that. But it's a big old gun, like a holster. She packs it everywhere she goes. Like my mom's like, oh, she has to take that big gun with us. Like like weighs in her purse. I think she's got one of those purses, and it's got a place for it. They make purses that have the spot for them to put them in. But
it's so just
pretty much everybody has.
It's so alien to me, just in concept. It's so weird.
It's because we're Canadian, dude.
Yeah.
Still,
our gun laws work. I mean, for the most part, we've had our share. We've had quite a few.
With everything,
in the last, if you go like 40 years, we've had like 200 or something, I think.
Yeah, I mean, with everything, there's outliers, right? There is no anything's going to be perfect. And especially myself here in Southern Ontario, whenever we do find an illegal handgun or something, it's automatically came from the States, right? It's just because you can't even get handguns here. So
yeah,
no.
Everything comes from the States. Like I've got all mine. Like I moved all mine out of the house because I had a teenage daughter living here. And I never had brought them back since she went to college yet, but I probably will one day. But I didn't want to keep no handguns here with her around in her teenage years.
Sure, understood. Would you hold them like just in a garage or something like that, or in a storage or something?
No, I've got them at friends. I've got them at friends at a gun safe, a big gun safe.
Okay.
Yeah, that way, It's pretty much the only good thing to keep them in, really, because nobody can get to them. And if the house burns, you got, if you got like a lot of money in them, just a good place to keep them in the gun safe, keeps kids out of them. But I didn't have a gun safe, and I didn't want to keep a gun around here with a teenage daughter. So
accidents happen.
Or any teenagers.
I would still just, to bring it all the way back, I would still argue and maintain that regardless of Alex having a gun on him or not, it was no call for him to be killed.
No.
Shot what is it, almost 10 times or something they were saying? I don't even know.
It's ridiculous.
Like I have a picture. I'll send you on Discord, Justin. When I get off here, I'm going to send you a picture that I got today of it that just is crazy.
Robin, I don't want to see anything graphic. I really don't.
It's not graphic, but it's like prior to them shooting him. But like the steel that they took the picture, it's like I can't believe it. And I won't send it to you then. I just I don't know how else to send it to anybody. But it was it's not graphic. It's before they shot him.
I've been like trying to keep up with the story, and in doing so means watching some YouTube and reading some articles. And every time, I'm very grateful for all those YouTube channels out there that are like, they're putting up right on the screen. It's like, don't worry, we're not going to show anything. Where they show the tussle, but they don't show the part at the end. It's the channels that are like, they show the actual moment when it happens, and I'm just like, oh man, like I just can't see that. It's too much. It's too real.
Yeah,
it's too shocking.
I wouldn't want nothing graphic. No, I wouldn't want to watch that either. I don't even watch scare movies. I was like.
And you know what? Also, I don't want to become desensitized to it. I don't want to see it so many times that I'm just like, well, it happened again. Look, like, because it's not right. It's not normal.
Well, I don't think I'll ever become desensitized to innocent fucking people standing up for what they believe to be the right way to live in that country and then being gunned down for it. I'll never be desensitized for that. That's just absolutely horrific. And it shouldn't even be happening like right now. These fucking morons that they grab.
This is bad to say,
like,
I hate to say this, but like, I'm sorry, Neil.
It's okay. It's all right. I mean, where they're getting these guys is from the J6 and the Proud Boys and the white supremacist groups, and they're fucking walking around goose stepping, and there's even one was heard saying, "Oh, it's like Call of Duty," like they think it's a fucking game. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, they said boo hoo. Yeah, like one said boo hoo.
There's they have no value for human life at all.
Nope.
And I'll bet you before every day before they go out. I was just gonna say I'll bet you too. They have absolutely no value for life, and I'll bet you that every day when they wake up before they go out in the streets patrolling or doing whatever they do, they probably have a prayer circle right beforehand on top of that.
Yeah, probably so.
Probably all get together with their arms around them, and one of them leads the whole group in prayer and asking God to keep them all safe, and hope that all our ICE agents come home safe today. And and they probably do it at the end of the day too.
Yeah. Fuck the families they're terrorizing though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. No, they're not in great shape either. I was watching some of them today. Like I really thought Trump didn't like overweight cops. I thought that was something that bothered him. I don't know, but I think the fact that this is a white man is gonna make a lot of difference. Probably. I mean,
that's a sad truth, but it shouldn't have anything to do with that. What's going on is regardless of any of that. It's like these people need to be stopped. This shit has to end.
Yeah,
you guys got to.
But I mean, in America, it's a whole lot of what plays part of it.
Oh, I realize that it's very, very white supremacist friendly down there. It seems right now. However,
Well,
that's
they
only that's less than a third of your population too. So I don't understand why the rest of you guys can't get on top of these clowns and bring an end to this.
well, from what I understand, the
I'm not in no
mayor of
shape really
Minneapolis.
to get on top of anybody right now.
Well, no, you know what I mean, though. Like,
From what I understand, the mayor of
Yeah, I
Minneapolis
know.
is trying for what do they call it now? A protective order against ICE on the city,
hmm
and he's calling in the National Guard, and hopefully that's supposed to take place on Monday. So
see how it works.
we'll see. I'm real antsy about how that's going to work. How does the National Guard show up
Hey,
to turn around and tell ICE to get the heck out? How does that play out?
Yeah.
ICE just goes in their car and says,
I
"No,
mean,
guys,
that's
sorry
our
for bothering
state.
you." And
The
leave.
National Guard, though, that's their state people. Like those are Minnesotans.
Yeah.
I know that, but that's what I'm kind of asking here: is how is that situation going to play out?
Hell, it could
Like,
play
is
out
ICE
bad,
just
but
gonna-
like I don't think
I hate
Trump
to
wants
say it.
no. I don't think his ICE agents want no part of that real military.
No,
But-
I don't either.
Actually,
But I think Trump wants to call that Insurrection Act, and that's exactly all he'll need to do it. As
Yeah.
soon as the Insurrection Act is activated, you guys aren't getting another election. That act is going to stay active forever.
no, that ain't gonna happen. No,
Oh,
that ain't
I
gonna happen.
disagree.
mean, they might try that, but that will start the war. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like that's not gonna happen.
I think you guys are destined for a second civil war, and I think I think it's going to be very difficult because Trump now pissing off everyone else around the world, pretty much almost everyone else around the world, and
Yeah.
the U.S. Treasury bonds are going to be dumped by everybody, so the dollar is going to be worthless in a while. So
Yeah.
money's going to be gone, poof, like that. Like fucking David
Yep.
Copperfield came by with a little tanky and over the cash flow, went, whoa, look, there's nothing there now. Except it ain't going to be smoking
Yeah.
mirrors.
Making America great again just meant like going way further in debt and pissing off all of our allies. And yeah, that's what made America great again.
I've been having some interactions online in this past week with some Canadians who believe that America is completely within their right and that there's nothing anyone can say or do about it. And if they decide to come, you're just going to have to let it happen. These are
What?
Canadians. This is some Canadians that I've been interacting with this week.
A small community of them, by the way.
Yeah, well, they're all in my town. On
I mean,
top
what
of
do
that.
they they hate having
Or
health care and
Alberta.
stuff?
It's a Facebook group in my town where these people are absolutely like, you're crazy if you think anybody can stop America, so you might as well just let it happen. And I'm just like,
Whatever. I think I love y'all's prime minister or whatever. I think he is like the coolest dude on the planet right now.
yeah, he's
Well, he
pretty.
knows what he's doing.
He's doing all right now. I'm pretty proud of him. But I also think it's interesting how some people think that the whole world is like every man for himself all the time, right? Because like just because America's playing the like it's all about us game, it doesn't mean that like all the middle
Mhm.
powers like Canada and the rest of Europe and stuff are just going to sit around and go, oh, screw everybody else. We just protect ourselves, because that's not what's going to happen.
That's not
Right.
what is happening.
Yeah.
That's not what is happening. Yeah. So
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, everybody. I like too many people in this country, especially people like Trump, think the world revolves around the United States, and like there's other superpower. I mean, like China is a superpower, and
Mhm.
could you
China
imagine?
gets friendly with Canada, then I mean, like it's
Hey, we
Well,
haven't
wait,
always been
I
friendly
wonder
with
if
them.
the fall of Rome was this stupid. That's what I wonder every day. Was the fall of Rome this stupid?
Could you imagine a world where China shows up on Canada's doorstep to protect us? What a
Yeah,
flip that
China,
was suddenly.
which
be.
is what we got going on here.
Yeah.
Well, we've definitely mended our relations with China, because it was pretty rocky for a while due to some stuff that went on here involving some Chinese folks there, but which I won't get into. But we have mended some fences with them, and we're not like, there's no like free trade agreement going on with China or anything, but we are going to do some trading with them. Tariffs have been dropped quite substantially. So our dealings will be,
if anything, they've only been returned to levels that already existed just a couple years ago. The only reason our tariffs against China went up was because America did it, and we always just went, well, we're going to do what they do.
You might not want to follow us.
Not anymore.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, thanks for taking my call, y'all.
Well, thanks, Robin, for calling in. It's great to chat with you.
Nah, you too.
Have yourself a wonderful evening. We'll see you. Drop some more wisdom in the chat. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, life here is going to get a lot harder before it gets easier, I think. But yeah, I couldn't believe that some of these people, like actual. I couldn't believe that some of these people, like actual Canadians that I've been interacting with, are talking like America's indestructible, and I'm just like, you realize that without Canada, the American army just stops moving, right? Like, something like.
But Canada lives because of the U.S. Come on, Justin.
Yeah, right. The honest truth is, our economies are so tightly intertwined. As someone did the analogy for me, I thought was interesting. It's like two trees growing right beside each other, and their roots are so intertwined now that like pulling that apart is pretty much impossible. We can probably pull a couple roots apart, and but a separation isn't really possible. So anything they do hurts us, and vice versa. Frankly.
Or Canada turns into an ant and just walks away. It pulls up its own roots and walks away. There you go.
Get some J.R. Tolkien stuff going on.
I see that there's another call pending, so I'll just wait and see till I get the go ahead.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah, I mean,
one argument I've been using is like aluminum, for example. I don't know if you know, but like 60 or 80% of America's aluminum comes from the province of Quebec, for example.
Right.
So like, all these fancy jets that they have, they just stop existing if we stop selling them aluminum, for example.
Right. Yeah. And apparently we're going to be building some, what is it, Swiss jets here? Or I think. Big deal. They're trying to land a deal where we start building some of the
it's the Gupin. It's a really high performance jet, very advanced in some ways. With some of the tech, it's more advanced than the F-35 is.
Yeah.
Also, the most important part is the takeoff range of the Gupin is very, very short compared to the F-35, and it doesn't fall out of the sky in Arctic weather. Because that's the other problem with the F-35.
Right. That's right.
Which I was always, so again, with these Facebook interactions I've been having lately, just, for funsies, was one of the funniest things I would say is like, I would love to see America invade Greenland with an F-35 and they just start falling out of the sky because their engines froze.
It would be kind of funny. But it looks like we have another guest here. We have Emmanuel. Pronouns are he, him, from Texas. Let me just snap that talk button. All right. I think we have Emmanuel joining with us.
Hey, Emmanuel.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
Well, I feel like I need to make like a very demonstrable argument here. Basically, my okay. So I'm not saying that I'm here with an agenda, right? But my true intention is to convince that God is real.
That's a tough call. So how do you manage to do that?
In fact, it's the exact reason we're here. So go ahead, give us your best shot.
Try to make a flawless argument is to say that I feel like it's like more plausible that there is a deity, and recognizing nature as his creation that no deity. So it could be more subjective, like from people to people, but I do believe it's more plausible, and I feel like it's non-contradictory to say that there is a God. And then, basically what I actually hate about like atheism worldview is not that I feel like it's harmful, but it's more of
Emmanuel,
I feel
hold
like
on a
it's like
second.
doom, basically.
Emmanuel,
Like there is no God. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Emmanuel, hold on a
But
second.
if you say there's a God, that's kind of cool,
Emmanuel, let's listen
First
up
of
for a
all,
second.
Emmanuel, atheism is not a worldview. Atheism is the basically answer to a single question. Do you believe in a God? And if I say no, I do not, then that makes me an atheist. That's it. That's all it is. My worldview probably falls more under the view of like humanism, if you want to say I have a worldview.
And then just to add to that really quickly, you've said multiple times that it's your feeling that it's more plausible that a God exists. Well, you're not going to get Neil and I to go, oh, well, Emmanuel's feeling is that it's more plausible. So maybe perhaps, Neil, we should just start plausing that God exists. Can you give us an example, some evidence or anything that isn't personal feeling or testimony that a God would exist?
Oh yeah. So one of the things would be that people request to their presumed God, and they get answers, man. We see a lot of results, like basically whatever you
How do
pray.
you attach that to a God, though? How do you know that there aren't other reasons you're getting the answers you're looking for?
I don't see an alternative reason why that could be the case.
I guess it
Because
depends on what
if
you're
there's no
referring to.
God, who else is making those effects? Like the
You?
people that are praying obviously are not, because they feel like they're weak enough to actually beg another entity, right? So I just don't see it. Maybe there's an alternative explanation where, the universe hears itself or whatever, but I still.
I don't think God or
I
the
feel like
universe has anything to do with
because
any
I
of it.
feel like that would be a weak premise, right? So you've always hated it. But, okay, how do I explain this?
Well, first of all, you're talking about prayer. Do you think that prayer is
and I'm nervous too, just so you know. I'm very scared right now.
It's all right.
okay?
It's okay.
Hold on. You're talking about prayer, Emmanuel, that God answers prayer. Do you? No, I need to ask you something. Do you think that this? I don't know what version of religion you come from, but do you think that God has a plan?
Okay. God has a plan.
Then why prayer?
Prayer is reminding him of his promises, right? So.
Well, how do you know that he promised you
kind of
anything?
yeah. Okay. But you said what
to pray
version
means you're not happy
using?
with the plan, right? Because now something's wrong and I need something from you. And now, so your plan sucks and I need it to change for me directly for whatever reason.
Basically, yeah. That's actually good. You're actually making my argument for me. Okay.
No, he's not.
Like
Hold on, Emmanuel. He totally did not make your argument for you. He asked if God had a plan. You said yes. That means he already knows how the planet's going to end. He knows he knows the last minute of time. He knows all of these things. And
right.
What
Emmanuel
Neil
doesn't.
just suggested is that we could change God's plan by praying.
Right. In effect, you're trying to change God's plan by praying.
But if God already knew we were going to not like a thing, and if he knew we were going to then pray for it, why do the thing in the first place? If I lost my keys, God knew I was going to lose my keys. Then why did God have me lose my keys in the first place then? Just so I would pray?
God loves to hear us beg, says Robin.
Yeah, so that yeah, exactly. Because if you don't pray, you don't actually know who God is, right? So
Okay.
I don't think anyone knows who
just like
God
how
is. But
people say, communication is key to relationship. Our relationship with God is basically talking with God. So God intentionally make us suffer so that we, shout
but
out to
why
Him.
make his own children suffer to begin with? Like, why?
Yeah, Emmanuel, you're all over the place, my friend.
You thrive, right? So, basically, if you suffer, like you're supposed to see that as you're supposed to be joyful and glad that you're suffering for His name. So
wow,
that tells you that there's an eternal.
That's like the most
my brain just shrank a little.
Yeah, you literally sound like a victim of like domestic abuse when you talk like that.
Yeah, or what's that called?
No, I swear to God, I'm not a violent person. I don't like abuse.
I'm not saying you're a violent person.
Like that.
Emmanuel, listen to what I said.
Yeah.
You sound like you're the victim of
There's
domestic abuse when you say that.
There's a term for it, like when you're kidnapped.
No one's abusing me, but
on the side of the kidnapper.
It says that we suffer and we're gladful that we're suffering because our suffering brings us perseverance, and our perseverance brings us to godliness.
Emmanuel,
thank you. Thank you.
If you met somebody, and they told you, my significant other, they burn me every day with a cigarette. They put a cigarette out on my arm every day. And I'm so grateful that they do this to me. Because, I have to suffer in order to understand their greatness.
They're consensually getting hurt, right? It's kind of like, if I tell, this is not actually a good example. Basically, I'm not saying like it's like a fetish where it's like, oh, you're supposed to fetishize.
I didn't say it was a fetish.
Like that. Huh?
Do you not understand the point I'm trying to make here? The way you're framing this, you're making it sound very much like you're a victim of emotional abuse. You're literally thanking and praising a being for your suffering.
No. It's not the suffering you're supposed to be happy. It's the reward of being patient that you're supposed to be happy. It's not the persecution that you're supposed.
There's no reward.
I would never sign up for a program like this, like ever.
Yeah. No way. There is no reward.
I mean, are you saying that your life is perfect? Basically, you don't have challenges in life. Our life is not perfect.
The word perfect is an ideal.
It's a very fucked up world that we live in. So.
Oh yeah, you don't have to tell us about that. We were just talking about that. There's no perfection doesn't exist. It's just an ideal. My life is not terrible. I'm pretty privileged. I was born. Okay, here's something I'll throw at you, Emmanuel. Do you believe that the Christian faith is the right faith?
Yeah, the Lord Jesus is real.
Says you. Okay. Then I was born to a Christian couple. However, I was put up for adoption and raised in a Jewish home. So,
okay.
Right? And according to the Jewish people, they're the chosen people. So apparently Judaism is the correct one, because if God has a plan, then obviously his plan was to put me in the right religion, right?
Yeah, Judaism worship the same God as the three.
They're all the Abrahamic faiths, all three of them. Right? They're all based on the Abrahamic faith system, which comes from a Canaanite thing. But anyways, we'll get into that another time.
Yeah.
So basically, then, of course, I've never really believed in any of this shit, even as a kid, but because I can't, because to me it just sounds like all the mythologies that I've ever read in my entire life, being them Roman, Greek, Asian mythologies, North mythologies, African mythologies, whatever, they all sound the similar. There's always some sort of hero figure, some sort of massive deity that runs the show. It all just sounds the same to me. And this is just one of the more modern mythologies that happen to stick with people. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to fall in line to this kind of bullshit, because in my mind, believing in this kind of stuff is not freedom. So,
I mean, it's just the
and
truth.
besides,
Right?
you have an all-powerful entity that you claim to worship that doesn't step in when children are being molested by the very people that speak for him. He just turns a blind eye.
That actually sounds. By the way, I do not endorse what you're. I'm not saying.
I don't either.
That.
So why doesn't he put a stop to it?
First of all, I'm not American. Let me just clarify there. There's some assumption that you was making. I'm not American, just so you know.
That's fine.
What was it?
I'm not talking about Americans specifically. I'm talking about clergy.
So you're just saying in general, because American version of Christianity, how Americans, not just Americans, basically the West tradition of being a Christian is very different from some other parts.
There are so many versions of Christianity. Dude.
You'd be hard to find two Christians that think the same thing in the same room ever.
Yep.
Oh, that's all. That's actually very, very good. What you just said.
What I said was not like Carl says, geographically limited. By the way, this is happening planet wide, and all they're doing, and you've got an all-knowing, all-seeing entity allegedly that does not step in to put an end to this because he thinks it's okay. Well, he clearly does. Just look at the Epstein fucking bullshit. But anyway.
Okay, what I was about to say was, it's not that the evil
Let's
that
not
God
address
likes
this serious point.
happens to people. Hello?
Say that again, Emmanuel. What'd you say?
Oh, I was saying it's not the evil that happens to people that we're supposed to be, glad about or whatever, but it's that we understand that our suffering is temporary. So, but his glory is eternal, right? So
but he's the cause of our suffering, right?
How do you know that anything is eternal? Even the universe has a time limit. So how do you know anything is eternal?
I mean, we are eternal, and
how do you know that?
Because we're spirits, right? So
show a spirit.
We have the flesh.
Show us a spirit. Demonstrate a spirit.
I mean, God is a spirit, right? So God is a spirit, and we're made in His likeness and image.
We just came around a whole circle, I think.
So God is an ape too, because we're apes. So God is an ape too, because we're apes. Do you know why you get goosebumps?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're talking from the biological point of view, or from the scientific point
evolution.
of view.
But do you know why you have goosebumps?
Sure. What you said is not totally false.
Goosebumps are an evolutionary oops.
What you're saying.
When we lost all our hair, when we started walking around in the savannas, goosebumps were there to raise up our hair to make us look bigger than the actual predators that were hunting us. And since we moved to the savannas, we no longer needed the hair and started losing all the hair on our bodies. Although it's still there, it's just very fine now. And it's because we were overheating and dying. The only places we ever kept our hair was our head, to keep us from the sun doing damage, and in our armpits and other areas, because that's where pheromones are released, so it will help to amplify your pheromones, etc., etc. But we still get goosebumps as if we still have the thick hair there. Basically, we look like plucked chickens running around whenever we get goosebumps, and the only reason we get them is because it's a fear response. And that's a broken DNA
what you said
that
are
still works.
scientific facts.
Right?
But
So what's the point of having DNA that is not necessary
you're
anymore?
still talking
Is
about
that
the body
intelligent design?
and the flesh. Huh?
Is that intelligent design to say that we have genes that are no longer necessary, but they still exist? Or how about the fact that our eyes get so bad that we need glasses? Or some people are born needing glasses. Is that intelligent design? I don't fucking think so. How about putting where you eat and where you breathe in the same tube, thereby amplifying the fact that you're going to choke to death, possibly?
Interesting. That's actually a very interesting point. Yeah. Actually, now that's actually a moment that realization that I've never actually thought about what you just said.
Well, critical thinking is important, so you're
But
on your way.
that's actually what I would say is those are scientific facts. That doesn't dispute the theological fact that.
Okay, hold on, Emmanuel. No one's trying to dispute it. The way you got to think about these things is we have yet to find it or see it or measure it or test it. So there is no evidence for God. Science doesn't go around under microscopes going, is God in here? That's not what they do, right? They
But
start
what
with a
you're doing is
hypothesis.
you're walking in your sight, and you're supposed to walk by faith and not by sight, right? So
Faith is just the
basically,
excuse people give when they don't have any evidence.
That's right.
So what?
Faith is the excuse people give when they don't have any evidence.
And a little expression I love from Christopher Hitchens is, it's called faith because it's not knowledge.
Yeah, that's very basic. By the way, a lot of things that you're saying I don't dispute. The part that I dispute is just because the thing is like invisible and you cannot show a proof of it doesn't mean that the claim is not true, or it doesn't mean that.
Manuel, you're not wrong.
Like if I told you
Hold on, you're not wrong. Just because the thing is invisible and we can't see it and measure it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You're absolutely right.
The
point I'm trying to make here is, hold on, Emmanuel. Hello, Emmanuel. The point I'm trying to make is you can't start by assuming the invisible thing exists until such a time when you can measure it or find a way to see it or experiment with it. Or you can't start by saying there's something invisible here and then just go with that. That's the problem, right? Because you're right.
But
just because we can't see it or smell it or measure it. So, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Say it again.
Maybe you could start with an assumption and you could make the case after that, or are you always supposed to be, skeptical of everything?
You're always supposed to be skeptical of everything. The second you make an assumption, what's the old saying? You make an ass of you and me.
So I don't know. I mean, that just doesn't sound right, to be honest with you. Because
so you're just going to accept everything everyone tells you without any critical thinking on it at all?
No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is obviously you have to show me some type of proof or. Okay. I understand that, but in order to be a dogma, you have to start with the assumption. Then you go to the premise. Then you go to your conclusion.
That's the problem.
Otherwise, you're constructing a house that doesn't stand.
Well, hold on. You know what? So, I don't have a problem if you have an idea and you want to present it. And you say, listen, and here's some ways we can test this idea to demonstrate that it's real. I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. That's the scientific method. So if you're going to come to me and say, an example would be the dragon in the garage that Carl Sagan brings up. Are you familiar with that?
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay, well, I recommend you go check it out. But Carl Sagan promotes this idea. He says, I spoke to my neighbor and I said, you know what? I've got this dragon in my garage. should come and check it out. The neighbor comes over and he's looking, I don't see any dragon. He goes, oh, I forgot to tell you, the dragon is actually invisible. So the neighbor goes, well, I got an idea. Let's test this. We can put flour on the floor and we'll see its footprints as it walks around. He goes, oh, shit. You know what? I forgot to tell you it floats. It doesn't touch the ground. He says, oh, okay. Well, does it breathe fire? He goes, well, yeah, it does. He goes, well, then we could bring a thermometer in with us and we can test the temperature and watch it heat up as the dragon breathes. He goes, oh, well, there's no heat to the dragon's fire, so there's no way to test that. And the guy says, well, then, you know what? Really, I don't believe that there's a dragon in your garage. And this is kind of a shortened version. There's a little more to it. And the guy says, so I don't believe you. And that's basically where atheists are with this whole God thing, right? If you can suppose an idea, and we keep saying, oh, well, then we can test this. And they get, well, no, we can't really because this or whatever. So now you're listening to it from our side where, well, you're proposing this idea, but we don't believe you because you're not giving us any methodology to test out this idea.
Yeah. Well, I failed you on that. I'm really sorry about that. Not everyone could make a constructive response to atheistic questions. Because, first of all, we don't have a lot of y'all where we live. So it's very, we don't think about your questions a lot. So we just live our life.
You do.
But when you point it out like that, I'll be like, oh, okay. How do I answer that question? It's a valid question. Currently at the moment, I haven't given you, I haven't persuaded you, to believe in God. And, that's not even the reason why I called, because it's very hard to convince to believe in God, because maybe it touched your heart, maybe it did not, because our heart was responsive to God more than our brains.
Your heart is a muscle that pumps blood through your body. That's what your heart is.
And by your own Christian worldview, God made us this way. And if he is real, he has destined us for eternity in hell.
Yep.
No,
we knew we were going to be atheists.
I'll say that, man. That doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't sound right, does it?
It doesn't.
But you can still believe in him, right? It's not too late, right? It's like you're still you're having a phone call with another person who believes in him. So
you can't believe. You can't just choose to believe something.
No.
So you do think our belief is not our choice? You think it's like non-consensual?
No.
We don't really adjust ourselves to believing in a. It's kind of like saying, okay, I don't know.
Just
okay.
flip it.
I don't want to sound.
Could you stop believing in God by choice, Emmanuel? Could you just stop believing in God right now? Just choose to not believe.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Or would you just become unconvinced?
You said what?
Or would you just become unconvinced?
I mean,
you don't choose your beliefs, Emmanuel.
Believe in God.
Emmanuel,
you're not being honest with yourself right now.
We don't choose our beliefs. We're either convinced of something or we're not convinced of something. And when you're convinced, you tend
to basically, can I say that you guys are, Calvinistic atheists? Like, you don't really believe that, we're just destined to believe.
No. My sole position is, do I believe in God? No, I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Why? Because I don't see any evidence for any gods. And we've had hundreds of thousands of them thrown in our face throughout our history. And I don't believe in any of them. And you don't believe in 99.9% of them either. I just take it one further, my friend.
Yeah, can you just start believing can you just choose to be Muslim tomorrow?
That's what I told you. I'm not American. In my country, 35% of the people are Muslim. I grew up around Muslim. Okay, it's kind of weird because, the rest of 60-something% is actually...
Emmanuel, stop. Please, just stop.
Yeah.
Forget American for a second. We're not American either. This has nothing to do with nothing. Okay.
Yeah. You guys
My
are
point
yeah,
is,
right.
you're Christian, right? Correct? You believe in the Bible, you believe in God and all that, right? Could you just choose
Yeah, I
tomorrow
believe
to
in
wake
God.
up? Okay. Could you just choose tomorrow to wake up and be Muslim instead of Christian?
Yeah.
So why
You're
That's
don't
not
my
being
choice.
honest with
No
yourself.
one's forcing me to believe in the Lord.
If
In
your
Jesus Christ.
Christianity is so fragile that you could just choose tomorrow to stop believing, you're not being honest with yourself. You're just not.
Are you saying I don't have a choice? I gotta stay Christian. Like no one's like holding a gun to me and saying, "Oh, you gotta be Christian." I'm
Aren't they?
willingly
Aren't they? Hold on. Aren't they
following.
though? Isn't God telling you if you're not Christian, you're going to hell? Isn't that just a proverbial gun to your head?
I mean, God never told me that. God never said that to me. You know what I'm saying? If you're saying that does the
Pretty
Bible
sure the
tell
first
me?
3 commandments are telling you that.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure the first 3 commandments are basically telling you, love me or go to hell.
Okay. I feel like hell is more of a New Testament idea, and when the Ten
we
Commandments
agree
were
with you
Okay,
like
there?
written, I don't feel like they had. Huh?
Emmanuel, I'm sorry, but you can't. The point of my comment was not about hell, right? It was, I'm trying to point to God pointing a gun at your head, not hell. And if you truly think
Okay.
you could just choose to stop being Christian tomorrow, then your faith isn't as rock solid as you
Yeah.
think it is. And you don't believe what you believe
I
as
could
much as you
say
think you do.
tomorrow there's no God. I could even be an atheist, let alone a person that believes in a different faith. Like
Okay, then do it.
you told me
Just do
that
it.
you came
Emmanuel,
from
just
a
do it.
or
Tomorrow when
that.
you wake up, just be atheist.
Atheist. Okay, here's the thing: being an atheist
See, you can't do
is
it,
not
can you?
really cool. Like, and here's the thing: I can't really be an atheist like that because if something when shit goes down, like I need someone to call to. Like I need
Hey,
like a
so
higher power.
Call a
I
friend.
if
Emmanuel,
I'm like
oh my
an
God,
atheist
you're so close.
and
Listen. Just what you said, you just
yeah,
can't do it. You just said it. You can't just do it, which means you can't choose.
okay,
You
yeah.
literally
I
just said
mean,
it. You
okay,
couldn't.
maybe I'm forced to be a Christian. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I
Okay?
mean, you
The
debunked
only
me in that case.
the only way you could technically stop being Christian is if suddenly you were convinced. You couldn't just make the choice. Otherwise, why don't you do something really fun and go to bed every night with a 6-sided die next to your bed and just wake up every morning, roll the die, and whatever number comes up, that's the religion you'll be today. Just for fun. Why not? Right? If you could
Why
just
just
choose.
6? There's at
Yeah.
least
If,
2,000 currently
eh,
being observed, so use a 20-sided die. Make it a little bit more.
sure, D20. Point
Roll for
is
initiative.
whoever the real God is, you'll roll nat 20s every morning, won't they? Won't you?
That's
But
right. If you
yeah.
make Christianity a 20, you'll roll 20s every day.
Emmanuel,
Yeah.
you were nervous. Um,
Yeah, we
you're
get that.
very. I can tell that you've never engaged with guys like us before, and that's okay.
No, I swear to God, I've talked to at least 20, 30 atheists.
Okay, but
Because I used
not
to
like
call
us.
to a lot of other different shows.
Okay,
I called to
Ain't
this
my
show
never
like
been no
2 times.
Canadian atheists.
yeah. Um,
No,
my
I,
point.
okay.
Southern Canada, but most
Yeah.
Canadians are Southern Canada. So
My point is, I believe that at the very least, we've been able to demonstrate that it's not a choice. And with
and we've
that,
been able to demonstrate that you're not going to convince us and that we don't think it's plausible.
yeah. And I think we got another call, so I kind of wanted to
We do.
maybe just give you like one more 30 seconds here to make another case. But Emmanuel,
So that you guys
I
are
would like
so
to Emmanuel,
chill.
hold on.
Yeah.
I would like to encourage you to call back again another time as well. Okay?
Yeah. Maybe you come up with some better armaments and you might be able to convince us.
Maybe watch a little more and maybe something will
In the
will hit you.
meantime, that little story I told you about is in a book by Carl Sagan called The Demon Haunted World. and I highly recommend you read it. It's a very good book, and I know other people of faith that have read it and come back to me and said, wow, he makes a lot of great points and stuff. They're still believers, but they very much enjoyed his whole take on being a skeptic and stuff like that. So I highly recommend you check it out.
Yeah. Well, you guys are awesome. You guys are very chill. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should go to Canada. I swear to God. Like, the other atheists that I've talked to are American atheists. And, like, I've talked to Adam Raw, for example. I've talked to Matt Dillahunty, for example. So,
well, Emmanuel,
those are American
it's not
atheists.
impossible to get us to lose our cool, but we just didn't touch on any of those topics today.
No,
And
you know
hopefully
what?
we'll
You
just avoid.
convinced me though. I haven't convinced you there's a God. You haven't convinced me there's no God. But
It's
you've
not up to
convinced
us to
me
convince you there is no
Canada
God.
is so much better than America. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, guys are so chill in Canada. So that's awesome.
Well,
I should really
a couple
consider it.
of times I've been called the Canadian Matt Dillahunty for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, you should go
why.
watch some past episodes of Neo.
No, the way that
Trust
you
me,
sound is
I've
very chill.
lost
I
people before,
was
man.
so nervous when I called, but like, but it's kind of like
Hang
I
in
don't
there,
even
Cecil.
know. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, though.
No, thank you.
Well,
Call
Manuel,
again.
thank you for calling.
Yes,
Look
sir.
forward to hearing from you again, my friend.
Yeah.
Chill. See ya. All right.
You're so chill, Neil. You're just the chillest.
I know, right? Well, we now have Cecil.
The ultimate Canadian compliment. You're chill.
You're chill.
It's minus 20 outside. It's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah. This icicle's hanging off my mustache. Yeah, I'm chill. From Illinois, we have Cecil calling in, who is an agnostic pantheist. Interesting.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Cecil, how are
Hey,
you, man?
Cecil.
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So you're into the whole pantheism sort of thing.
So it's a little bit more, I don't want to say complicated, but it's a little more involved in that, where I think it's almost like a panentheist relationship, but I'd have to kind of break that down to really get at what that even means.
Yeah, sure. We're all ears.
All right, yeah, sure thing. So I'm just referencing a couple notes. That way I didn't sound like a complete chump when I came on here. But so pantheism kind of comes from the combination of, I believe, Greek words that is all and God. So basically, you know, and not to mansplain pantheism to anybody, but of course, it's the whole idea that everything that exists in this natural world is divine, or is a divine entity, if you will.
Okay. So what led you to
Okay,
think
so,
that way?
you know, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just asking what led you to think that way.
So I was so I used to be a Christian. So let me go ahead and give the disclaimer that in a psychological sense, like, I could totally see an argument to be made of, like, anybody kind of coming from a Christian background might feel the tug of, you know, some kind of belief system or faith that would get you to believe in some kind of God, just to scratch the itch of something you once had. So just kind of taking anything that I say with a grain of salt after, you know, knowing that about me. I just wanted to say that coming out of high school, I was actually something very close to an atheist. I was definitely agnostic, but I had since then been able to piece together that, like, you know, everything in the Abrahamic religions is not only not the true case of how reality works, but is also misunderstood and completely
I agree with you
misrepresented
there.
in culture and everything. Yeah, exactly. You know, people don't even know what's in the Bible, and it's actually really sad, because I think you'd learn a lot about humans and culture if you actually, you know, if people cared enough to want to know what's really in there. But all that is to say that, you know, when I was doing some soul searching, I've been drawn for a while, even as like an agnostic, even as something close to an atheist, to I hate to say Eastern, but just religious that are primarily in
I was there at one
Southeast
point
Asia,
too, my
Southern
friend.
Asia,
I get
India.
that.
Right. But I've always really been drawn to that idea of like, okay, well, just maybe the fact that there is being, the fact that anything exists at all is like, what if that's like divine in nature, to the point where, it could even lose all its magic, like not to say that it wouldn't be something quote unquote magical, but at that point it doesn't really matter. But then even that
Hold
kind
on,
of
hold on.
springboards
Cecil, hang
into
on one second.
Oh, go ahead.
One quick sec. My friend Call, who's part of the show here, hi Call, made a great point. He says, if everything is divine, then nothing is special.
Right. And that's part of my pantheist thinking is that, okay, yeah, maybe nothing is special, everything is meaningless, but in what could be maybe considered a good way, because then meaning is up to us to define. That is our key role. That is what we play in this equation here.
Absolutely. 100% with you there. Meaning is exactly what we put into
Yes. And now I understand you could look at that in a completely secular way. Like that doesn't even have to have any kind of a divine connotation. But then that's what gets me into the panentheist side of the belief here is that, well, what if it's a relationship between that which is and that which isn't, for lack of a better word? What if it's the relationship of the unmanifest to the manifest? Once you get into this whole idea of, okay, if the universe is trying to conserve energy, why is there anything at all? And especially things that get, more and more complex and try to keep themselves going even. Something that is coming at the expense of energy that is happening all over the universe. Even in, our own evolution, which I try not to be too biased as a human and look at things in too humanistic of a sense. But that's what a lot of these religions do, especially the Abrahamic ones. They just prescribe a lot of human emotion and human modes of being and paint it right onto divine imagery. So kind of to answer your question again, what kind of got me into my thinking was that, well, what if it isn't anything human-like? What if what we can experience of God, quote unquote, this is just how that's represented in our default state as a human, whereas every other animal, or living thing experiences it in the limitations that they have physically to their being.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this. How much do you know about things like astronomy, cosmology, that kind of thing? Physics?
Not too experienced, but, very layman.
Well, what we've at least find thus far in like physics, cosmology side of things is the total energy of the universe currently is widely believed to be zero. So
right, and so okay, and that's kind of what gets at my whole thinking of the unmanifest to the manifest, because with pantheism you can get down to that whole thing of, okay, if everything's divine then nothing's special, and it's like if nothing's special and nothing's like whatever, if it's all zero, why be anything at all? And then that's kind of where the eureka goes, if you can kind of scratch at it enough to say, okay, well, what if there's really nothing and everything maybe just exists hypothetically? Like this is just an electron dance or some kind of hypothetical. Our imagination is something that is so vivid. So imagine
put an earworm in my head.
Imagine.
Yeah, this is getting, for me as a simple Canadian who can't hardly start a snowblower in cold weather, is getting crazy. The only thing from this that I caught was this idea of you keep injecting what sounds like intent, as if there was something that intended to cause something.
Yeah,
where I see everything more
brain thing too.
Yeah, I feel like everything's more of just like an effect or a side effect of a cause. Like one thing happens, then there's all this extra stuff that happens because of it. There's no
That's
intent.
cause and effect.
Right. So I don't see life or the universe or anything as at any point ever starting with someone or something or nature intending the outcome. It's just that's how it is.
I would agree, and that's where a lot of me being an agnostic comes from. Is everything coincides in some way, and I know that's a a big part of Buddhist belief, for example, is like everything kind of depends on everything else in order to exist. Which in turn,
to some degree, that's nature with its circle of life balance stuff. There is something to that for sure. If you lose a species, other species are going to be affected by that. We know that, right? Like if all the bees went extinct, all of them, not just honeybees, we'd be fucked. So we get that.
Yes.
And on that same,
and it's like, I think
hold on,
just
ahead. On that same train of thought, right? You get the right level of humidity, the right level of temperature, and life also just happens. And I believe that even life is fairly trivial, and under the right circumstances is inevitable.
What about their find on the comet Bennu, where they found 19 of the 21 proteins and amino acids that are necessary for life to evolve? They found them all on that asteroid, on one rock floating in space.
Yeah, and there's a lot that is almost like a fractalized representation of the whole, I don't want to say design, but the whole being of the universe. You see a lot of it reflected in us. All of our cells that do such complex things to even keep us going as a body or an organism and whatnot. And it's like you can observe things in nature that just repeat. And, we have memory. And that's, crazy to me. But as an aside, you have things going for long enough and patterns that can be observed in this universe, things that repeat enough to build upon themselves. And you have the Fibonacci sequence and all that, not to hit buzzwords, but
mathematics.
And it just makes me wonder. Here we as humans come so far into create things like religion or create things that, become godlike. And if they don't exist at all, they still have power because we give it to them in such a psychic way.
Yeah.
And I think that Carl Jung
got
the same thing there.
I don't believe in psychic abilities at all, dude. So you kind of lost me on that one.
Right, I'm sorry. That's like a semantic. When I say psychic power, I mean it's all existing in our collective imagination. But to be fair, almost everything exists in our collective imagination. There is no real you, there is no real me. That's all just projections we have within our own mental, frameworks and whatnot.
No, I can demonstrate to you that I'm actually here.
Okay.
I can go get tested and get all kinds of results that show that I exist and that my body does what every other human being's body does. I can go out there and prove that I am actually an entity that exists in this reality right now. And
I've met Neil.
Yeah,
I can also demonstrate that Neil's hair is 100% real and not just part of the bandana.
But everything that would prove your existence would come from some kind of human observation. It would have to come through human sensory experience.
But that's all we have to work with.
I more so mean.
What do you mean? That's all we have to work with. So that's what we have to rely on is other humans experiencing.
That's correct. Yeah, I'm not, of course. But what I'm saying is like when you think of the example of you, right? Like a different version of you will exist in the heads of every person who knows you. And that will even contradict with your own view of yourself. So in that way, you, like as a thing that you put up in your own mind, isn't like a 100% static thing. That's what I more so mean by like all of our projections, like what we put out of like ourselves and whatnot. Like it's all just stories that we tell ourselves and everything. There's a lot that we don't and cannot know. And that's why for me, it goes a little bit beyond being like a pantheist because, a pantheist, you can still kind of get that, I guess, like you can still kind of contemplate that, but panentheism kind of takes that extra point. Well, there's a lot that we don't know. So everything that could exist in that space of we don't know, what if that is what someone called the unmanifested God, like the thing that turns the wheel.
Cecil, why not stick to what we do best in the world of science anyways? And if it's something that we don't know, put it aside for now. Let's not assume anything. Let's put it aside until we figure out a way to demonstrate that what we think is real is real. You come up with a hypothesis.
And I'm not saying
test, right? Why make shit up to make, maybe to placate ourselves? Why make shit up Just put it aside. Okay, well, I don't know why that. Like, we don't know what happened before the universe, before the Big Bang. Like, we don't even. I mean, we have evidence of it because of the microwave background and all that, but we don't know what happened before that. We don't know if maybe the universe existed in some other form before that moment and then changed form and it's now what it is now. We don't know, but we're working on it. So let's put it on the shelf. We got people working on it. And then when we have an answer, if we ever do, then we'll bring that to the table. But why make up all this? Like, it seems like extra baggage that you just don't need.
Yeah, you're trying to get ahead of the train.
Well,
It's like
that's
you
just
ride the train.
in a philosophical sense. It's more the response to like, okay, is there anything that could be plausible in a theistic setting outside of, obviously the Abrahamic religions and what most people would probably think of in the term of God. Of course, I'm still agnostic, so it's like, that could be the case, and it very well couldn't be, and I think it's the same thing either way. But, like, it's not like I'm going to go out and advocate, hey, everyone should believe this because it's better for you than just being an atheist or just being agnostic or what have you. It's more of a philosophical standing probably than a straight up, like, deity relationship, but,
Do you believe that we'll never...
Because you're right. You said, well... Oh, go ahead.
I do.
I'm just wondering, do you believe that we'll never be able to know everything?
Yes, I believe that, because there has to always be something to strive for. Like, that's the whole point of becoming.
Not even the reason.
It's like, well, what if the universe...
That's not even a decent enough reason, Cecil. Okay, like, the real reason is because we live in an infinitesimally tiny little dot, a speck in a universe that we have really no idea how big it is. And there's so much stuff out there we will never, ever know about because it's beyond our point of vision. Like, that's how, the speed of light and all that. Like, we can only see so far because that's the light that's still reaching us. And there's stuff that could be beyond that. And many believe that there is. And we'll never even know what that is. We'll never even know that those stars, what they look like, what kind they are. There's planets out there we'll never even know existed. So there's always going to be things we will never know.
But people said the same thing about seeing a black hole. And, with our modern technology, we were able to pull that off. We've been pulling off the inconceivable for a while now.
Who knows? Maybe we'll with every some kind of telescope that can see further. But right now, it's not possible because it takes light a certain amount of time to reach us. And some of that light is so far beyond what we can see that it'll never reach us because the universe keeps expanding. It'll never reach us.
And with every answer that we answer, I also feel we just end up with like at least 2 more questions. Right? Every time we figure something out.
Well, yeah, and in a way, that's all it'll ever be. Because, like I, was saying in the comments, if it's all becoming, then you're just giving yourself something to, ad infinitum reach for. And I think the universe could work a very same way. It's like, well, why does anything exist? So it not only can exist, but keep going. Like, it has to sustain itself somehow. And, the same is true for us in, like, every sense of that word, like, whether that be our emotional state or our mental, like, whatever, for fulfillment. We're always giving ourselves a reason or an explanation for something. And it's like, if everything, it does just exist without meaning, then boom, finally we have something to fill in the thing of like, okay, what's there to be made meaning of? And here we are having the conversation. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where I stand on it. Again, I'm not really out here trying to change anybody's mind because I, was very atheistic thinking. And of course I still say that I'm agnostic, but I just think if there's anything kind of leaning in the way of like, oh, there's a higher power, there's some kind of organizational force or something, it's probably something like that, probably something we won't understand for a long time if it is even to be understood. But if we can understand it, then that's kind of like the hide and seek of it all anyway. So what can you do?
There's a very high power very close to us, about 96 million miles away. It's called the sun. That's high power.
And that's just one of,
one of
ones that will keep being made, ones that will keep,
Like, there's literally billions of them in this galaxy alone, buddy. So, see, I'm one of those people that believes that there's life out there somewhere else. Will we ever know for sure?
I agree.
Probably not in my lifetime anyways. but never say never. It may happen. Who knows? But I'm definitely, now that with all the discoveries we've made, it's unlikely that there isn't life out there. It may not be like us, but whatever. It's probably out there.
And that's another question in the whole thing is like, okay, where does life even start? How do inorganic materials get to the point where they start to become organic materials? And you know what I mean? Like, but if you are the universe, if you're operating off of some kind of
that's abiogenesis.
atom of data,
they're still studying it. Did you hear any of that? It's called abiogenesis, and they're still studying it. But they now have. I've actually recently read an article, and they're going to put it to the test even more now. But they now figure they have possibly found one of the. They figure there are a few different triggers for it to get going, and they've now witnessed at least one of the triggers where it created proteins and acids and stuff that were able to form cells. So they're working on it, and it basically
the best way that I've heard it explained is that we now know of 19 of the 21 ingredients necessary to bake the cake. We just need those last 2 steps, and it'll pretty much be solved. In other words, they kind of pretty much know how it happens. If you want to know how it happens, I believe that information is out there. They just haven't reproduced it yet.
And that's kind of where I know it can be kind of far-fetched or even hippie-ish sounding, but it's like, well, you know, if there's consciousness to the universe, imagine it just like going its natural course until it gets to something like us that can actually study it and know what, or not know necessarily, but like have a decent grasp on what it is to actually use it. You know, you could look at it
at that point.
I think it could take all the magic out of what this is, or, you know, it could reinforce it for you. Like, this is actually magical to have the ability to understand some of this.
Sure, it's fun, whatever. I mean, it's mental masturbation.
Science, but it's not magic. But Cull just made a great point. I read that article too. We weren't expecting it to happen, but we just basically turned lead into gold, like the alchemists have been trying to do for a long time. Yeah, which is pretty crazy.
A lot of, you know, alchemy is more about like transforming your emotional state and whatnot. I think a lot of people kind of, you know,
alchemy is bullshit. That's why we have alchemy turned into chemistry.
No, the whole lead into gold, like that, understanding it literally, like, no, you know, has obviously been bunked for a long time. But of course, people who actually study alchemy in a hermetic sense, I think, had a whole different understanding.
It took a little mini singularity to make it happen, but it happened. Anyway, and this whole thing about the universe being conscious, no. You can't have consciousness without a mind. Right? You have to have a brain.
That's kind of the basis, is that what if it's all mind, you know?
Yeah, unlikely.
Again,
we don't.
If it starts with a what if, it's like, cool, dude.
Next.
And what if?
But it's not even a completely alien concept. You know, Aaron Schrodinger believed in a similar thing, and Einstein, you know, was very keen on on Spinoza. You know, his idea of like the pantheist God model and whatnot. Which is not to say that because they're authorities in science that makes them any more right or more whatever. They are human.
Sure.
For some of the highest scientific minds to come at a similar thing, it's like, well, dang, what if the laws of the nature really are a god, or, you know, whatever? It's like, of course, that is unfalsifiable. That is not something that, you know, we could get to the bottom of in this conversation, obviously. But if the question and the whole setup of your guys' show is, you know, centered around atheism, of course, I'm not going to argue for any version of theism that is harmful in any way. But just from the philosophical stance of it, okay, what if it's all mind? What if it's all just a two-way, you know, like even a moment becoming definite through observation?
Are you a solipsist now?
It turtles all the way down.
But does that mean you're into solipsism now? Are you a solipsist now?
No, I believe we exist for as far as that means anything.
Well, it means that we exist. It's pretty.
But that's just my human bias, you know. Like what if there are whatever, like dimensions outside of what we could experience, where things don't experience us necessarily. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot that, yeah, we'll have a human understanding and idea of, but it could go even far past that. I think that is a thing that we get lost in a lot. It's just looking at like human observation of it. I know that that's what we're limited to, but
Okay, well, don't confuse dimensions with like alternate realities. Dimensions are something like we have, we physically live in 4 that we know of, right? With the time being one of them, and height, width, light, all that stuff, right? Those are the dimensions. Now, quantum physicists believe there could be up to 11 that they can at least calculate, but most of them are so small we would never even know them. Like, they fold so into themselves, we would never even know them. At least not with our current technology. So dimensions is something different. When you're saying you may be alternate realities, like maybe we're in a multiverse, like the whole Marvel thing or whatever, which actually was an idea before Marvel picked it up. But still, it's possible.
Right.
That ad infinitum stuff you're talking about, right? Maybe there are multiple infinite universes, and maybe there are infinite versions of me. Right? Who knows? Could be, but I'm not going to weigh heavily into that. I don't really care. If that's the case, great, but I'll never really know it, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'm concerned about the me here that's now and how things are going to turn out with me in my life. So
yeah, fair enough. No, I understand. Because I could see where someone would say like, well, none of this is really practical, but I mean, it's only ever as practical as what you utilize it for. Everything in life is either a rule or a tool, like, and we have to decide how we use those things anyway.
everything is a nail, and I am the hammer.
I'll never get tired of that one.
Well, you made some points, but I don't think you've convinced Justin or myself of any of it, because I'm too much, I guess, of a pragmatist, I guess. But,
This kind of conversation always kind of just reminds me of like my high school days where we just had a little bit too much weed on a Saturday night. I mean, they're fun and they're interesting and stuff, but like, it doesn't serve any real
Tell you what,
purpose.
before I hop off here, do you mind if I read you a quote by Erwin Schrödinger?
Yeah, I'm well versed in Schrödinger, but go ahead. Yeah.
All right, sure thing. Sorry, I'm flipping to it right now. Because this, just to kind of circle all the way back to your question of like what got me into this belief and being into science and whatnot, and getting into quote unquote Eastern thought and whatnot. I thought this just kind of lined up very well. I'll just read this, and yeah, I'll read this, and then I'll let you guys get on. And I appreciate all the time you've given me. I really do.
No problem.
You've been fun.
Here we go. The mystics of many centuries, independently yet in perfect harmony with each other, somewhat like the particles in an ideal gas, have described each of them the unique experience of their life in terms that they could be condensed in the phrase, Deus factus sum, I have become God. To Western ideology, the thought has remained a stranger in spite of the true lovers who, as they look into each other's eyes, become aware that their thought and their joy are numerically one, not merely similar or identical. This life of yours, which you are living, is not merely a piece of this entire existence, but in a certain sense, the whole. Only this whole is not so constituted that it can be surveyed in one single glance. This, as we know, is what the Brahmins expressed in that sacred mystic formula, which is yet really so simple and so clear, Tat Swam Asi, that are thou. Or again, in such words as I am in the east and the west, I am above and below, I am this entire world. Thus, you can throw yourself flat on the ground, stretched out upon Mother Earth, with certain conviction that you are one with her and she with you. For eternally and always, there is only now, one and the same now. The present is the only thing that has no end.
Yeah, I'm aware that Schrödinger very much dipped into Hinduism and belief systems similar to it, where the whole Brahmin
and
thing
it's one of the oldest.
But he by the way, he pulled himself away from that in the end, by the way, just so you know.
I think it still goes hard. It's a banger.
Well, sure. It seems to work for you, but it's not doing a damn thing for me.
No, I feel you. Fair enough. But hey, guys, I appreciate your time here tonight. Thank you for letting me, go on my screen and everything. I hope you guys continue to have a good one.
You too, man.
Thank you, sir.
Make it as good as you can.
Take care in the weather out there in Illinois too.
Yeah.
Drive safe and watch out for ice.
Bye. Peace and love.
Cheers, man. All right. Well, we don't have any more callers. I don't know. If anyone else.
After that last call, I'm tired. We can call it here if you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine by me too. I'm still managing with a sore back here, so kind of sitting like this is a little on the irritating side, but I have a special little butt pillow underneath me that helps a little bit. It keeps my posture a little bit more straight. So
my dog just came in from outside, and when she got on top of me, I've got like wet paw prints all over me now.
Aw, turn that into art, man.
I mean, you ever smelt the dog's feet? It's not a fun smell. They stink.
No, I know. My buddy said they smell like rancid Doritos.
It's the only part of a dog's body where it's the only part of a dog's body where they sweat. So
yes, that's right. Yeah. They stink like my pits. How about now how Christianity is dooming humankind to extinction? Only if we let it.
Fair enough.
Anyway, I guess we'll call it. Justin, it's been great having or hosting the show with you again, man. I think you and I make a pretty good team, the Canadian duo, right?
Yeah, I agree. It's like Team Canada right here.
Team Canada, there we go.
Yeah, it's always exciting and fun. I was even gonna message you like earlier, like an hour or two before the show, going like, I genuinely can't wait to do the show with you tonight. And I was like, no, it's too fangirl. I better just take it. I don't want to come off like gushing or anything. It's like, just play it cool. Just play it cool.
We've met in person. I know you're cool around me, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I know, but
you can send me.
Always get a little erect.
Looking forward to it. Smidge.
I'm working on my Neil look. I don't know if you noticed, but like I haven't had a haircut in months, and like so I'm gonna try to do the anti-Neil for like the next time we meet. We're like
save a little.
You shave the middle, I'll only have the middle. Like it'll be fun.
Like the reverse, like the nega Neil.
Yeah. I'm French. If I let it go, I can get hair to my eyeballs. Like I can just, it'll be good.
Mine goes right around. Look like
I'll wear a bandana around my neck.
Yeah. Oh no, don't do that. They'll think you're trying to rob a train. All right, we do want to say, send out some huge thanks to our awesome patrons and members. There may be more now to the list that I have, so if I miss you, you can probably find yourself in a little ticker below. But what I have here, Paul Cammish, Karen Butcher, HellsBells, Logan Fisher, Amanda McLeod, Jamie West, Sydney Davis Jr., Eric Ozels, Tara S., Ryan D. Murphy, Dan D., Shannon Gray, Michael Wiseman, Bass Thrasher, Bryce Roney, Jenna Mew, Deborah Grace, Sunny Shell, and Phil Calderone. And our members include Cynthia McDonald, Kelley Laughlin, tons of mice, and Logan Fisher and Angela Infidel. And there was another one that I can't see in the something, and I can't see it anymore. Stop the Stupidity. There you go. That's the one. Stop the Stupidity right over here. There. Yeah, I probably just didn't type the whole thing in or something anyway.
That's all good.
All right.
We'll figure out how to do this eventually.
Yeah, we'll get it right one of these days.
Yeah, we'll get it
but
right.
A big shout out to you guys in the chat for partaking in the show tonight. Hope you guys had a few good laughs with us and had a good time. But yeah, I guess that's it, folks. We'll see you guys next Sunday. May not be me, but someone else will be here making this stuff up.
I'm back on February 8th, everybody. So, make sure you like and subscribe, and you go check out the Skeptic Haven YouTube list. There, we've got coming up events going all the way through the month of February already posted there, so you can hit the notification on the one you want to make sure you don't miss. And the ones where I'm there are the ones you definitely don't want to miss, for reasons I don't know why. It just seems like the right thing to say when you're on YouTube sometimes.
Right. Yeah, I don't know when I'm on again. I don't have anything in my schedule. So I do know that I won't be able to do the 22nd because that's the celebration of life for the loss of our bass player, the old bass player that we had. So
I'm doing the 22nd with Ember. Better than Ember.
Oh, there you go. Oh, Ember's awesome. But I'm sure they'll give me some days to go in again. So, or suggest them. I just have to plan properly. Anyway,
Indeed.
Thanks everyone.
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk. This is